gentlemen, American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. As always, it's sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. Subscribe to us on YouTube, the Eric Deters Show on YouTube. That's where you want to be the best. All right. I am a very, very bold man. And you're not going to hear anybody in the country talk about this. I have been talking about this for some years now. And it's the truth. And you know what? No one is, it's like everybody's afraid to talk about it. And what is that? It's called black privilege. We're supposed to be a country about equality. I'm for equality. Aren't you for equality? And you know what? Slavery was awful. Who supports slavery? Nobody. Civil rights movement. I was all game for the civil rights movement. Go civil rights movement. It's supposed to be about what Martin Luther King says. Content of your character, not the color of your skin. It's supposed to be equality. That's why all this stuff with the transgender and drag queens and everything else, they want special rights. It's not supposed to be about special rights. It's equal rights. No one says this in this country, but it's a fact. It's reality in this country. There is a large segment, and they are racist, of the black community. Black Lives Matter, the Squad, you name it. They don't want equality with whites. They want inequality with them having special black privilege. Now, where is this on display over and over again in our news? Is you can check out blacks beating the hell out of people in New York City. White people, black people, old people, beating the hell out of somebody. Nothing happens to them. Riots, no cash bail, let them go, revolving door, everything else. But wait a minute. A white guy strangles a black man who's causing a commotion on a subway, and the world ends. A white guy sits on George Floyd's neck, the world ends. It's black privilege. Blacks can rob, steal, murder, kill in our large major cities with immunity. It's black privilege. We now have black privilege in this country. And there's a story coming up on my page that will further elaborate on this. But there's now black privilege. And by the way, black leaders, they love it. They don't care. You don't hear any comment. A black police officer gunned down in Chicago. There's nothing from LeBron James. Nothing. There's nothing from those kind of people. Al Sharpton. It's black privilege. Blacks are now allowed to do whatever the hell they want because, by golly, they're black and they deserve the right to commit crimes. It's messed up. And it pisses me off. And it pisses me off everybody's chicken to say something about it. I guess they're worried about sponsors or something. Black privilege is real. And where it's real the most, New York City. FBI and the Clintons. Apparently, the FBI shut down not one, not two, not three, 4 criminal investigations into them that were legitimate. Congress, we'll see what they do. The FBI whistleblowers testified yesterday, and we took a clip from it. These whistleblowers have paid a heavy price. How scary is it when you got an FBI whistleblower saying that he would advise not whistleblowing because you pay the price? Now, I disagree with that. You have to come forward. One of my pet peeves in the Durrani litigation and everything else is I can't believe the people that don't speak up. I don't know how you sleep at night if you're witnessing something and you don't speak up. Trump and DeSantis on abortion. Trump is for the 3 exceptions, Roe v. Wade. DeSantis is much more stringent. And you know what? Trump's right. I believe that Daniel Cameron, like one of the biggest issues why Daniel Cameron will not beat Andy Beshear is because of the abortion issue. Like it or not, real politics, folks. I'm pro-life, but Trump's right. You got to have the 3 exceptions. You don't have the 3 exceptions, you're not going to win a general election. It's that simple. DeSantis is going to launch next week. He's going to get obliterated by Donald Trump. All right, here's another story about this city bike. You can't make this up. A white woman is having her bike taken by a black man. And all the news was like, look at this white woman taking a black man's bike. It was the opposite. They made her look like some crazy Karen. Do you believe that? You believe that? Where did it happen? New York City, a city bike. A city bike. It was her bike, not his. Black privilege. You can steal a bike. I'm not kidding you, folks. If I was a black man in one of these major cities, and by the way, they do this, LA, New York, Chicago, they know they could get away with anything. They're laughing. These gangs are like, man, we could do whatever we want, especially if it's a black juvenile. Black juveniles, recruit them, let them go do your thieving for you. We have in this country, this is just more of the insanity in this country. Dianne Feinstein doesn't even know where the hell she is. She's 89 years old in a wheelchair, and she's being pushed around. Fetterman on the House floor, blah, 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 blah. His staff, their staff rewrites what he said. It made no sense. Joe Biden is falling down the memorial over there in Japan. I mean, it doesn't matter. See, this is how gangster we are. They will not give up power even when they're demented, mentally ill, too old. Just, it's a joke. It's a joke. Nobody says anything. Media doesn't say anything. See, the reason why this exists is nobody's held accountable. Bruce Miller, you got to love this young man. Bruce Miller retired from football early, even though he's going to be a superstar, because he's worried about concussions. He sends out a tweet relative to Eric Swalwell, basically saying that he belongs in Guantanamo or being executed. Swalwell, being the wuss he is, turns it over to Capitol Police. Capitol Police. It wasn't a death threat. Bruce Miller has a right to call him a traitor that deserves hanging, shooting, execution. He has a right to do that. Didn't say murder. Didn't say murder. Eric Swalwell. Here's another example of how screwed up our country. Eric Swalwell sleeping with a communist spy. Fang, fang, bang, bang is like the car. And you know what? Nothing happens. In fact, not only does nothing happen, he stayed on the Intelligence Committee. Folks, our country, this is what's great. Our country is in jeopardy of complete destruction from the people who are claiming it's Donald Trump that's going to destroy our country. Wake up. All right. Biden is in Japan, gets off the airplane, doesn't know where he is. I bet you thought he was in Australia for the G8 summit. We'll see what happens. Debt ceiling. The negotiations are going to continue, and Biden has cut short his trip. He's not going to Australia and someplace else to come home to work on the debt ceiling issue, which, by the way, this is the same game that they always play. Do you believe it, folks? $32 trillion. When Bush was the president, it was like a couple trillion. He took it to $5 trillion. Obama took it to $15 trillion. I mean, it just goes. Sad. Kucinich, good choice. Moderate down. He is going to be Bobby Kennedy's campaign manager. I tell you right now, folks, I know you and I disagree on a whole kinds of things with Kennedy, but on the vax and these other issues, the border, you know what? I like Bobby Kennedy. My good buddy Chris Steeneman is a close personal friend of Bobby's. And you know what? This is going to be fun to watch. How do you ignore a Kennedy managed by a Kucinich in the Democratic primary? There's not going to be Democratic Party debates? Really? Adidas swimsuit. Yeah, just more. I mean, more with a man in a female swimsuit. Why? What's the purpose? Again, special rights for freaks, weirdos. Makes no sense. Chris Hugs Christie, I'm going to call him Hugs. I would like to call him fat, but I know many of you are like me, are fat, so I don't want to fat shame. But remember the big hug of Barack Obama that ended the Romney campaign at the end? Hugged Barack Obama. It was over. Romney suspended his campaign because of the hurricane. It was history. Chris Christie hugs Obama, thanks him for coming to New Jersey. And now he bashes Trump all the time. This guy is a clown. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, Bulldog TV local news with yours truly. Ladies and gentlemen, America, Jury, and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Bulldog TV local news, sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. Let's get into our lead story. Local businessman Michael Sweeney was identified as the victim of a fatal road rage shooting on Saturday. By the way, there were 3 other people in his car. Northbound lanes on I-75 were shut down for 4 hours as officers investigated the incident. Sweeney is a member of the prominent tri-state family known for their automobile business. Walt Sweeney, who's Willie's buddy, has got his own Walt Sweeney dealership. Jake Sweeney's the big kahuna, but this guy was involved in it as well. Police are looking for the suspect's road rage incident. Mike Sweeney, did he cut somebody off? I don't know what the hell. Shot and killed on our interstates. Not just an average Joe, it's this guy. Pretty amazing. Pretty sad, pretty nuts. Road rage is scary. By the way, I'm ready for defending myself against road rage. In other words, I'm glad I have a gun in my vehicle to protect myself against a whack job. I would never, ever, ever road rage somebody else, but look out. And by the way, I'm gonna bring up because of my thing with my nephew. I followed my nephew to get him to stop. I had guns. I didn't shoot him. I mean, really? I mean, talking is one thing. Shooting? It's pretty incredible. Sad. Wish to all the Sweeney family the best. Unbelievable. I can't imagine the trauma. I don't know who the 3 people were in the car with him, but I can't imagine their trauma. Can you imagine being in a car with somebody and the driver is shot and killed, probably in the head? Can you imagine? Awful. Long crime. Matthew Chapman and Celeste King have been both arrested for another road rage incident on Wednesday. The incident took place in Hamilton County. Details are still developing. According to U.S. Census data, the Cincinnati metropolitan area continues to grow its population. The data shows an additional 8,000 people start calling the region home from 2020 to 2022. Warren County is the fastest growing Cincinnati area. Since 2016, a pair of falcons have nested in the 11th story of the Mercantile Library during downtown. Administrators recently added a live streaming camera just before 3 new baby chicks hatched in the nest. The Falcon Cam has been very popular as tri-staters continue to check in on the family. The city of Cincinnati has reported $500 million of deferred maintenance over the last decade. Things like aging pools, cracked tennis courts, and crumbling retaining walls have not been addressed. City workers hope the city budget released later this month will address some of the issues. The Hamilton County Republican Party has been divided since February when 2 members were asked to resign. One of those members, Chair Anna Zinkon, now she's asking for the 9 who voted her out to resign. Zinkon claims the meeting and those present violated the Republican Party. Fight on, Anna. Kentucky State News. Kentucky's law on defending yourself for self-defense is very broad and could still result in being charged. If someone is killed in the state of Kentucky and self-defense is claimed, a murder charge could still be filed. In Ohio State News, Ohio Board of Elections are concerned about the unexpected special election in August. Some polling locations won't be available, and they'll have to secure 1,500 to 1,600 workers on short notice. Ohio has approved a 1% cost of living bump for retired teachers in the state for their pension checks. There's roughly 150,000 who will be eligible for the bump, costing the system about $825 million. And in sports, the Preakness Stakes will be on Saturday. Kentucky Derby winner Mage will be in the field, and the Reds welcome the Yankees this weekend, starting at 6:40 tonight. I might catch a Yankees-Reds game this weekend. Coming up next, Jamie Spinley in his World News.
Hello, Bulldog Nation. The latest world news in 60 seconds or less. The Iranian authorities executed 3 men yesterday in connection to the anti-government protests last year. Dozens more have been sentenced to death. A powerful cyclone hit Myanmar, Burma, with a death toll now of up to 145 people. 800,000 people have been affected. The Correctional Service in Zimbabwe, Africa, has released around 4,000 inmates in what is described as a good gesture due to the overcrowded cells. And in sports, Newcastle United beat Brighton 4-1 and West Ham United reached the final of the Europa Conference League, beating AZ Alkmaar. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Until Monday, take care.